All right, I'd like to start the first public hearing. Will clerk please call the roll?
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady.
Here.
Councilor DeMasi.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesorio.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
The first public hearing is for local law number 7 of the year 2019. This is a local law amending Chapter 253, Vehicles, Abandoned or Junk of the Code of the City of Oswego. This was just this small change, that language change we made. Right now, obviously it's illegal to have a junk vehicle sit in your driveway. Right now the code reads that can be enforced by the police department or city engineer. We currently don't have a city engineer and feel that it's more appropriate to be enforced by code enforcement. Anyway, that's all we're changing. Nobody signed up to speak. Would anyone in the crowd like to speak on this local law? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councilor Cordino, Councilor Wilmot, will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
This public hearing is adjourned. The next public hearing starts at 7:10. All right, I'd like to start the next public hearing, local law number 8 of 2019. Will clerk please call the roll?
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady.
Here.
Councilor DeMasi.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesorio.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
This is local law number 8 of 2019, a local law establishing Chapter 115, Environmental Protection Code of the City of Oswego, New York. I have one person signed up to speak. I ask that you step up to the microphone, state your name and address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. The first person to speak on this subject is Karen Johnson.
Good evening. Hear me okay?
Yep.
My name is Karen Johnson. I'm here representing Tobacco Free CNY, which is a public health program that covers the county of Oswego. I'd like to share some information on the health effects of secondhand smoke and the environmental effects of tobacco litter. The Surgeon General has declared that there's no safe level of exposure to secondhand smoke. Exposure is dangerous. Even in outdoor areas, the concentrations can reach the same limits that are found in inside smoking. Secondhand smoke contains more than 4,000 substances, over 40 of which are known to cause cancer in humans. Exposure to secondhand smoke causes a wide range of serious and life-threatening health issues, including heart disease, cancer, asthma, and other respiratory problems. In addition to the health effects, tobacco litter can also impact the environment. Discarded cigarette butts constitute the majority of litter on beaches, playgrounds, etc. Reduction of use results in reduced cleanup costs for the community. Cigarette filters, e-cigarette pods, and plastic wrappers are not 100% biodegradable, and toxic chemicals can leach into the water supply as they break down. Tobacco product litter poses a health hazard, especially for animals and small children who often pick up items off the ground and place them in their mouths. Discarded cigarette butts contain the tars absorbed by the filter and bacteria from the smoker's mouth and lungs. In closing, I just want to share that data has shown that Oswego County has the highest smoking rate in New York State at 30.5% smoking rate. Smoke-free environments make it easier for smokers who are trying to quit successfully. And maintaining tobacco-free playgrounds and events allow all residents equal access to clean and healthy public spaces and protects the health of the community. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak on local law number 8? Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Omar van Renen. I'm a student at SUNY Oswego. I'm also the former Student Association President. I just would like to find out why the law isn't more robust, or why the initiative isn't more robust in expanding it to eliminating single-use plastic straws and to-go containers in the city as well. Of course, we are grateful that this measure is being taken place, but on our campus we've already taken these steps prior to the governor even announcing that he was going to banned plastic bags, and we've banned single-use condiment cups, single-use plastic straws, single-use plastic bags, and single-use plastic to-go containers within the past 3 years. And I think it would be beneficial if the body and the city itself would take this opportunity to expand the scope of the initiative and be fully robust in its approach in protecting the environment. So basically, I just want to find out why it's not being expanded into other single-use plastic products.
Thank you. Any other comments on local law number 8? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councillor Hill, Councillor Corradino. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesfario.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
This public hearing is adjourned. Now I'll open it up for public session. Public session, the same rules apply. If you'd like to speak, step up to the microphone, state your name and address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. Public session is a time where the public can talk about any subject. Nobody is signed up to speak. Would anybody like to talk during public session? All right. Seeing none, I will close public session, and the regular meeting starts at 7:30. Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Just laughing.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady. Here. Councilor DeMassey.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesfario.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. I'd just like to say under the mayor's report, thank you to everybody who was involved with the Creepy Crawl. It was an event we threw together really in about 2 weeks by the time we came up with the idea and thought we'd actually go through with it. So I primarily have to thank the DPW, Tom Kell, Chantel Manwaring, the entire staff at DPW. Also, thank you to the laborers who at the DPW who agreed to dress up and act like props. That's, believe it or not, isn't in the job description. So I really appreciate their willingness to participate and be involved like that. We had great reviews so far from the event, and considering we threw it together in about 2 weeks, I really look forward to putting more effort into it, more planning next year, and try to make the event bigger and better each year. So I would just like to thank everybody involved with that. Any comments from the council? Seeing none, will clerk please call resolution 402?
Approved minutes, Common Council meeting held October 15th, 2019.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Corradino. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady. Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesfario.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution 403.
Appoint Commissioner of Deeds.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady. Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesfario.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution 404.
Approve use of public space, Teresa Manning, owner of a single-family dwelling located at 138 Erie Street, in order to extend an existing porch.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor McBrady. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady. Yes. Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesfario.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call resolution 405.
Approve use of public space, Barry Fawcett, owner of a single-family dwelling located at 230 East 10th Street, in order to widen an existing driveway apron.
Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Gozick. Any comments? Councilor Hill.
As we discussed in the committee meeting, I will not be supporting this request. I think it contradicts the work we're trying to do to protect our public green space. I don't think there's any difference between, a 1.5 feet and 10 feet. I think if we give up the green space, then I think we're just working against all the positive that we're doing. So I will not be supporting this.
Thank you. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McCready? No. Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
No.
Counselor Wilmot?
No.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesorio?
No.
Resolution fails 4-3.
Clerk, please call Resolution 406.
Approve use of public space for the 5th Annual Trinity Turkey Trot Family Fun Run Walk to be held Sunday, November 17th, 2019.
Counselor Cordino, Counselor Gozick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McCready? Yes. Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesorio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 407.
Approve local law number 7 of the year 2019, a local law amending Chapter 253, Vehicles Abandoned or Junk of the Code of the City of Oswego, New York.
Counselor Tesorio, Counselor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McCready? Yes. Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tesorio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 408.
Approve local law number 8 of the year 2019, a local law establishing Chapter 115, Environmental Protection Code of the City of Oswego, New York.
Counselor McBrearty, Counselor Hill. This is the introduction and creation of the Environmental Protection Code in the City of Oswego, Chapter 115. First and foremost, right now the city code doesn't have an environmental protection chapter, so just the creation of this chapter is actually, I think, a big step forward. Tonight really is the first step, I think, as time goes on. The creation of this chapter allows this chapter to be supplemented. We can add to this as time goes on, as the need arises and situations come up. But I think pulling the littering section out of the code as it's written now and putting it in this section and then building on this section is a significant step forward. In this section, we are identifying littering and actually expanding the definition of littering. Right now, littering in the existing code is defined as a handbill, whatever a handbill is supposed to mean. If we actually move to prosecute the act of littering and go to enforce littering, we need the terminology to be a little more than handbill. We want to actually enforce issues where people are driving down their car, for instance, and throw something out of the window. Right now, you couldn't legally prosecute that if it was challenged. Expanding the definitions and talking more specifically in the code, like we're doing with this change, will allow us to take littering more seriously and actually prosecute it if we wish. We're proposing to double the fine for littering from $100 for the first offense to $200. We think this is an easy, sensible way to get people to stop doing it to begin with. At the same time, part of the Keep Oswego Clean initiative is to double next spring the amount of trash receptacles in city parks and in the downtown area. So anywhere, let's say a park has 2 garbage cans now, in the spring it'll have 4. We already have the funding built into the budget to do that. We think if we're going to take littering more seriously and going to make the fine more expensive, I also think we need to give people more opportunities to do the right thing, providing more trash receptacles in our parks and our downtown on city properties, giving them the opportunity to do the right thing. This chapter also addresses and bans smoking on all city property, city grounds, and during city events. This was really a complaint and a move that we made that was generated out of the summer concert series and some other events we're having throughout the city. Both of these, the littering and the smoking issue, they really stem from, and the styrofoam issue for that matter, really stems from the millions of dollars of investment we've made in our downtown, revitalizing our downtown. You see the development, you see the improvement projects, and the improvements to our parks, and adding public amenities like the dog park, the ADA accessible park, and others, the improvement to Harbor Trail. While we're doing these transformative projects, spending millions of dollars, sometimes you have to take a step back and look at the basics. The basics being, while the improvement looks great, while the new additions and amenities look great, if there's still litter, if there's still cigarette butts, if there's still styrofoam toxic chemicals like styrofoam, you know, you can only get so far until you address those basics. So we think that's why it's important to tie them all together in this chapter. The smoking ban, like I said, covers not only city parks and all city property, including buildings and the property around the buildings, but also city events. So when we have events like the Creepy Crawl that we had over the weekend, the summer concert series, events in city parks where we let, let's say, an organization run an event for the weekend, this will cover that as well. So there will be no smoking in city parks. Next spring, we will have the police department, through the $90,000 initiative that we passed last year for more police, more police on the streets. We included some of that funding to cover details for to enforce the no smoking. It'll start off as an education approach, and then we'll turn it to enforcement. We'll primarily focus on events next summer when the summer concert series starts. And we are including the events because if you don't smoke, that's your choice. If you do smoke, that's your choice. If you're at the city event, you shouldn't have a negative experience because somebody decides to smoke. It's a complaint we hear about all too often. So this law and this ban will implement that. The law, or change that. The law also covers vaping and any tobacco use, including chewing tobacco. So we should note that. Right now, the DPW is finishing up designing signs that will note this law, that will be placed in our parks and in our common areas, and it'll specifically say vaping, tobacco use, and smoking, so we're going to be enforcing all of it. Third part is the ban on styrofoam, speaking to specifically the environmental protection portion of this. Styrofoam, we know, contains known carcinogens. We know it shouldn't be anywhere near our food. You shouldn't microwave it. We know it doesn't, it's not biodegradable. I think being a waterfront community, we have more responsibility, more of an obligation to be aware of how we're treating our environment and to protect our environment and take care of the environment. If you walk along our parks or along our waterfront, any given day you can see the styrofoam coffee cups, the styrofoam bait containers that are used to store bait, right? These are all, this is a chemical that doesn't break down, shouldn't be anywhere near our waterfront, and adding to the litter that accumulates in our parks. So that's where this all came from. It's also a proactive measure, I think, that doesn't place a burden on our residents. Doing research, we know that there are reasonable alternatives, quite a few alternatives to styrofoam. You see a lot of restaurants and businesses phasing it out as it is. We hope our proposal just expedites that change. We actually built in some exemptions where we felt that there really isn't a reasonable alternative and where a business can't make that adjustment easily. And one exemption is any activity related to a deli. A lot of delis use that styrofoam tray before they wrap the food. That is hard to replace with a material that's as effective as styrofoam. So that is one built-in exemption. The second is anything a business accepts that's pre-packaged. Obviously, we don't have jurisdiction to enforce that when the product's created somewhere else and shipped into our city and the business receives it. And then the last exemption is the not-for-profit activity exemption. If you're a small business and you're hosting a fundraiser, let's say, for a not-for-profit, and the proceeds go to the not-for-profit, then you have the option to still use styrofoam, although we would encourage that you don't. So also, if the law passes tonight, it doesn't actually take effect until April 22nd, which is Earth Day of 2020. That gives businesses who already have their shelves stocked, already have orders placed with styrofoam products, a 6-month grace period to burn up what they have, so they don't have to try to resell it or throw it out. We think that's reasonable. The heart of the styrofoam ban speaks to what we thought we could get done without placing a burden on our businesses. And I've been extremely impressed and proud of a lot of the businesses in Oswego that have come forward and have either wholeheartedly supported it publicly or expressed an honest opinion where they weren't against it, they weren't for it, they acknowledged that they would have to make some adjustments, but understood why we were doing it and understood the ramifications negative implications styrofoam has on our environment. So that was encouraging. I think it's a good start. It's a reasonable start. And I look at Oswego as being the lead in doing this ban. I think you'll see other municipalities follow because we know there are reasonable alternatives and we know that we have to start being more proactive with how we treat our environment. So I'm proud to be one of the first, I think, to propose this, and we'll see if it passes. And I appreciate and would, of course, appreciate any support that the council gives the proposal tonight and the Keep Oswego Clean initiative package as a whole. Last point is in this, if we pass this tonight, we're supporting the New York State plastic bag ban by supplying $5,000 worth of reusable tote bags to give out once the plastic bag ban takes effect next year. We'll have those here in the lobby of City Hall so that when people come in, they can take one to get them started and hopefully soften the shock of the plastic bag ban. At least I speak for the councilors, myself. Being involved in government, we naturally pay attention to laws that the state passes and policies that are passed. Sometimes the average person doesn't. So I'm afraid that some folks don't know that in the new year there will be a ban on plastic bags, so hopefully having these bags available makes it just a little bit easier to make that transition. So again, appreciate the consideration from the council. I appreciate the support we've already heard from our businesses, and I look forward to seeing this legislation passed. One piece of information I forgot: enforcement of the littering and no smoking falls with the Oswego Police Department. The enforcement of the styrofoam ban would fall in the Code Enforcement Department. Code enforcement already goes to businesses annually to conduct a fire inspection. This would just be part of that inspection as a code inspection to make sure that they're in compliance with the styrofoam ban. Any comments from the council? Councilor Corradino?
Thank you. I just want to point out that I believe this is a huge step for not only the current residents but future residents. Our children and grandchildren will benefit from this. All three components, the litter, the no smoking, and the polystyrene ban, both go to the quality of life. That's the bottom line for me, is the quality of life that will be improved for us as residents, current residents, and for future residents. So I totally support this and look forward to going into the new year with this law on the books. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councilor Gozick?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly support this initiative myself, and in particular, I'd like to address the SUNY student president out here, his question earlier. I think this is a great opportunity now. It opens a door to allow us to push forward further environmental protections in our community. And I'm proud to say, after 4 years on the council, that several years ago, we were able to enact a ban on glyphosate, a Roundup, which now has been proven is beyond a doubt when we look at like cases in California and all over the world, as a matter of fact. You know, we've already done that and got rid of using glyphosate on city property in our parks. It's basically poison, and hopefully we'll be able to encode that in here. And like you said, many other initiatives that are progressive and are long overdue. So I applaud the mayor and the council here, and I hope everyone supports it.
Councilor McBurney?
I just wanted to say that I'm wholeheartedly support this resolution. I think it's about time that we introduced an environmental protection chapter to the city code, and I think this is a great step in the right direction that we can build on in the future.
Great, thank you. Any other comments? See none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor McBurney.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gossick.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 409.
Authorize mayor to enter into a maintenance agreement with Cone Care for the elevator system at City Hall.
Councilor Corradino, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrady?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tescherio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 410.
Approve transfer of funds from within the fire department.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Tesorerio. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrady?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tescherio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 411.
Waive rules of the Common Council to present resolutions numbers 412 and 413 from the floor without committee consideration.
Counselor McBrady, Counselor Wilmot. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrady?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tescherio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 412.
Motion to rescind resolution number 393 dated October 15th, 2019.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Gozick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrady?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tescherio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 413.
Approve transfer of funds from within the Department of Public Works.
Counselor Cordino, Counselor DeMassey. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrady?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tescherio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Any unfinished business to come before the council? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Hill, Counselor DeMassey. Will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrady?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor Gosick?
Yes.
Counselor Tescherio?
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Meeting is adjourned.
Way off.